on the line is comedian, actress, singer-songwriter Maryann Boom Boom Maisano. She formed the Italian Chicks, and she is their headliner. Hey, Maryann, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How do I get a boom boom in my name or something like that?
You have to be made an honorary Italian chick.
Is that, how do I do that? I'm Jewish.
Oh, that's okay. We can work that out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
All right. We have similar cultures. We talk with our hands. We like to eat.
Exactly.
Right?
We have parents that make us guilty.
There you go.
It's very, very similar.
So your story fascinates and inspires me. Tell me about the job, your life you had before the Italian Chicks, and how you came to leave it all behind and make this huge leap of faith.
Yeah, well, some people who are very conservative would say I was probably crazy. And some people who are huge risk takers and believers say, hey, God bless you, okay?
Yeah.
But the way it worked was, basically, I had a little bit of drama with my very strict Italian father, who was born in Italy. And we constantly battled, and he kind of gave me this challenge, or I perceived it to be a challenge. Mm-hmm. And he said, Maryann, you gotta get the real job and get the benefits. Okay?
Right.
So, okay, what do? I walk into a local bank, and I become a teller.
Mm-hmm. Like a good daughter.
And
yeah.
Unfortunately, they trained me as a teller. They gave me my window. And unfortunately, they also gave me the drive-up window, which was the biggest mistake because it had a microphone.
Oh, no.
And I was also performing as well at that time as a singer and a musician, a working musician. Mm-hmm. So, of course, every customer that came up, I grabbed the microphone and did my best James Brown impersonation. Okay? So until my blazer got caught in the mechanism of the drive-up, and then I broke the drive-up. Okay? So by accident, I became successful in banking, and I just kept moving up within the ranks.
Yeah.
And wound up becoming a vice president sales coach.
Wow.
Which was kind of a very cool thing because it was also performing in a way. Mm-hmm. I would go around from region to region, and I would really talk about, your passions, your desires, how banking was changing, and kind of like a change agent. And, how do you change when you were hired just to be an order taker? How do you become a salesperson? And how do you do that without being invasive? Okay? I was very non-traditional as a banker. People used to come up to me at the end of my seminars and say, "Are you really a banker?" Okay.
Right. I'm shocked at that, by the way. But anyway.
Well,
yeah.
I'm sorry?
I'm shocked that you were unconventional. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right. Okay. And what happened was I realized that every day I was going from region to region and, doing this preaching about passion and dreams.
Right.
And I was driving home and I'm saying to myself, Mayor, you're not living yours. Mm. For the longest time I was multitasking, and as my job got heavier and more political, of course I would come home exhausted. I'd have no energy left to be creative.
Right.
And the one thing I realized is that you could come home and plan to do your laundry, but you can't come home and plan creativity.
True.
It just happens.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have no control over it. And I remember walking into the chairman of the bank's office saying, I appreciate the opportunity you afforded me, but I can't do this anymore. So I walked away from a 6-figure job, and I said, what I'm going to do is absolutely concentrate on me and everything that I let go of. And I'm a huge fan of The Alchemist, the book The Alchemist, which pretty much kind of goes through that, where you walk down a road and then all of a sudden you make a left, and for many reasons, whatever those reasons were.
Right.
And you're always saying to yourself, I'm going to get back on that road. Mm. And you just don't know how to. Well, I just said I have to do it.
So it was like a cold turkey thing. You walked in, you quit your job.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, just walked in and said, gotta go. And when I did that, it was amazing because I actually wrote 5 new songs in less than 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I recorded my own CD and put it up on iTunes and out into the electronic world. Out of that, this is always a family thing, okay? As you know, okay, in your world too.
Right.
My sister winds up going, and my sister is, my older sister, very much not like me, very shy, goes to a wedding, calls me up from her cell phone in the bathroom, whispering, going, "Hey, Mayor." And I'm like, "What's the matter?" "Where are you?" "I'm in the bathroom. I can't talk." "What's wrong?" I just met Danny Aiello, and I went out to my car, and I gave him your CD.
Oh, what a good sister.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, if anything goes on here, I owe her big time. Okay. And long story short, Danny Aiello winds up calling me like 3 months later and says, Maryann, I want to record City of Light, one of your original compositions.
Wow, when does that ever happen?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was sitting on my sofa, and I couldn't believe that I was talking to Danny Aiello.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that he made that offer. And since then, the song should be out on his new CD titled Bridges, probably in less than 2 months, and there's also going to be a music video attached to that.
Wow.
So that started happening. The CD was out, and then I decided that I really needed to put together a show based on being Italian. I mean, there's so many things out there, you know, from Latin Americans doing their own shows,
right.
And you know, the Japs doing their own. And I wasn't trying to emulate any of that, but my entire life in comedy was just true stories
right.
about me growing up.
Write what you know, do what you know. That's what you put together, but you do it in such an entertaining way. So talk about how did you actually form the Italian Chicks? How'd you find these other women? How did that start?
So I was on the hunt, you know, I had the name, the Italian Chicks. Okay, easy. Now what do I do? So, you know, and here's where I thank God for all of my corporate background and in marketing and branding and strategic development, right?
Yeah.
So I sat there and I said to myself, okay, I started out in comedy years ago with a brilliant woman by the name of Mary Domino. And Mary and I were great friends, and then we just kind of lost touch through the years. And I reached out to Mary, we reconnected, and Mary was on board, okay?
Good.
Then I actually did a casting, and I put emails out into the free world on every market that I could find, casting for specific women, because I really wanted women that kind of reinvented themselves so that we would all have a common thread.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And, you know, 4 women, 4 strong women, and how did they change their world? And I found Carol Ann Valentino, who is originally from Texas and is out here in Manhattan now. And she was the manager and director of a multi-million-dollar steakhouse in New York City and left her job.
Interesting.
Mary, besides just being a brilliant comedian, and was nominated for the Gracie Allen Award and won, also for a MAC Award. Mary starred in the PBS special Fat. Mary lost over 100 pounds in her lifetime.
Goodness.
And she also co-wrote a book along with that PBS special as well. So now I had Mary, I had Carol Ann, and then I found my MC, who was kind of new to the comedy world, but there was something about her that I just had a feeling, just an intuitive gut.
Yeah.
And Gina Scarda happens to be a retired New York City police sergeant.
Really?
And after she left her job, she said, you know what, all my life, I always wanted to be in comedy. And started pursuing that world.
That's great.
And I thought it was a great blend of women who really reinvented themselves in many different ways.
Yeah.
And what I think, you know, hon, what's really special about the show, and I'm stepping out of the box emotionally here to talk about that. What I think is really special is that we genuinely all like each other, support each other, and love each other. And I think that comes across on stage.
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting is a couple of the women that I work with here at the radio station saw you and the Italian Chicks when you were at Harold's New York Deli Hyena Comedy Lounge a few months ago.
Really?
And they, not only were they just so entertained and they laughed and had such a great time, but it's interesting because they all came to me and were so excited that you were coming on the show, and they all felt a kinship with you. It wasn't just that you were funny. They felt connected. And I think if you're able to do that to any audience, you know, you've succeeded.
Oh, honey, that's great to hear. No,
Yeah.
really. That just gave me chills because really to be quite frank with you, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
It's about making an impact.
Absolutely.
And connecting just connecting with someone, I think, is an amazing thing.
Absolutely. Well, the Italian Chicks are performing at the Primetime Comedy Club and Theater on Route 9 South in Sayreville, coming up Saturday, October the 10th at 7:30 p.m.
Yep.
You can go to primetimecomedyonline.com
Yep.
to go see you guys live. The Italian Chicks, they are funny. They are out there. They are the hottest comedy team around right now. 973-839-8686. Lines are open. We're giving 2 tickets away. Again, it's October the 10th in Sayreville. Maryann Boom Boom Maisano, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, and continued success.
Thank you, hon. Very
All right.
much appreciated.
All right, we're rocking on the job on GHT.